Over the past 6 days, whether in church, synagogue, mosque, or temple, whether in living rooms or around kitchen tables, even the most faithful among us asked the question, where was God? How could he allow this to happen? Friday's events in Newtown was a stark and horrible reminder for all of us that evil does exist in this world. And it is essential that we acknowledge that fact if we're going to fight it and be God's voice in the world. As our governor said, evil was in that school on Friday. Evil working through one person. But meeting that evil was God's saving grace in the form of those teachers and administrators who fought back, who shielded and protected the children under their care. It was in the form of those beautiful, brave children, many of whom led each other out to safety, held doors for each other. It was in the form of those first responders who, as was said, put an end to the horrible tragedy. While it seems of little comfort when so many have been taken, these are the times when we need God most. You see, when evil sent one, God sent scores of others. God and goodness will always, always prevail. At the various vigil services, we've all held candles to symbolize the light of those we lost. So let us go from here recommitted to being God's light to the world and being reflections of those we lost on Friday. During catastrophic events, we often, in thinking about them, remember where we were at that time. On Friday, I found myself with many of my colleagues in this state capitol building on the fifth day of negotiating the budget deficit. It was a hard and tedious process. When we arrived Friday morning, we arrived to the news of the horrible, tragic events in Newtown. Every room that we were working in had the TV in the background with the goings-on. We went about our task, and frankly, things weren't looking so good. We had reached stalemate. We were arguing and bickering back and forth. We heard our president, we heard our governor, and all of a sudden something happened. It wasn't conscious, it wasn't even spoken about. But people started to sit up a little more upright and bend over and listen. Heads started to nod. Agreements started to happen. About 12:30 a.m. on Saturday morning, we all stood with a tentative agreement. We shook hands and even embraced. I drove home that night and I found my wife still up watching the horrible accounts of what had taken place less than 24 hours earlier. She asked me, how did it go? I said, I think we reached an agreement. She said, how did that happen? I turned to the TV where they were referencing those heroes, those angels who we lost. I said, hon, I think that the spirit of Sandy Hook was in that room. The spirit of those people brought us together. So in the spirit of this holiday season, in the memory of those heroes and angels, and for the betterment of the world we live in, I would suggest that maybe all of us could leave here today and stand a little closer, hug a little tighter, love a little stronger, pray a little longer, be a little kinder, listen a little better, be more patient, and tolerant, and understanding, and giving. If we could all do that, maybe, just maybe, we could make this world we live in a better place.